All right. Welcome everyone back to the Faster Law webinar series. Today is episode 12, Ask Faster Law Anything. So as usual, I am your host. I am Andrew Suter. I am our lead support representative here at Faster Law. But today, since we're doing an Ask Me Anything session, we also have with us Tony Valenti, our founder and lead programmer, as well as Josh Tanzola, our VP of Strategic Partnerships and Channel. So they will be available to answer questions, as will I, although I think probably most of your questions will be directed at them, and I will be here mostly in a hosting capacity. But anyway, that's who we are. If you guys have any questions, you can just go ahead and turn on your mic to ask your question, or you can, if you don't have a microphone, you can just type a question into the chat box at the bottom of your screen there, and we'll be able to just read your question out and get it answered there. So just make sure to specify who you would like to ask the question to, and then we'll go ahead and get it answered. Before we start, I guess maybe we want to do some introductions here. So I will go ahead and turn it over to Tony. Tony, do you want to maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here?
Yeah, so my name's Tony Valenti. I started Faster Law. Whenever you have an idea that's getting built, I'm probably the guy who's building it.
Perfect. All right. And then Josh, do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us what you do here?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Josh Tanzola. I'm VP of Strategic Partnerships and Channel at Faster Law. And a lot of what my day-to-day consists of is building a partnership and a reseller program here at Faster Law.
Perfect. And then you're all probably familiar with who I am. Again, I am Andrew Suter, our lead support representative. If you guys ever need help with anything, I'm probably the person that you're contacting for customer service, tech support, things like that. So yeah, that's who we are. Let's go ahead and jump into some questions here. It looks like we had one question come in from our group chat for Tony. It says, can you put an item on the Faster Suite main menu that tells a user what version they're running and if they're on the nightly preview recommended or delayed schedule?
Wendy, are you able to hear me perfectly good? Yeah, I guess so. Y'all already heard me introduce myself. So that's a really good idea. When I'm looking at the real estate of the Faster Suite ribbon, there's a lot of information that's already in there, and I'm wanting to keep it down. I don't want to expand that if I can keep from doing that. But one of the things that I'll show you is if you click on the, Andrew, follow along with us. If you click on Faster Suite up in the ribbon and you go to Settings, in the dialog title here, it will show the version. Now, it doesn't show what update channel they're on, whether they're on nightly preview or recommended, but it will get you the version right there.
Alrighty, I'll go ahead and add to that to check what channel you are on. You can't check that under advanced here. Unless you've changed this, you will be under the recommended channel though. So I guess with that question answered, if anyone else has any questions currently, you can go ahead and just turn on your microphone and ask or type it into the chat box. All right, no questions coming in here.
This could be a fast webinar.
Yeah. I can jump into as folks are thinking of questions. I'll just go ahead and let the folks that are already joining us have a couple of updates. On the partnership side, just so everybody's up to date, we're now actually member benefit and partner with over a dozen state, county, and local law societies, which we are super proud of. Some of those state bars include Arizona, DC, Georgia, with a handful of other states sort of on the, in the conversation and about to become a member benefit of. We're also working with King County and San Diego as well. We're also working with now almost 10 different law schools and legal clinics and pro bono clinics where we actually offer free access to Faster Law. So some of those organizations are Cooley Innocence Project in Michigan. We're working with Arizona University, Ryerson University, MacArthur Justice Center, Texas School of Law, Florida State University. So we're really excited to be working with universities providing free access to Faster Law, as well as providing free access in some of the law clinics. I noticed there's some questions that came in here. Andrew, I'll let you jump those.
Alrighty, yeah, we did have some questions pop up in the chat box here. I'll go ahead and read through this one here. It says, not sure how to use the documents restore function. I backed up using the faster suite button, some Clio Cloud Drive files to a location, then deleted one file in the Clio Cloud Drive. I clicked restore, expecting it to show me what I had deleted, but nothing was obvious. It says to drag and drop deleted files onto the button to restore them. But what if I don't know what was deleted, like if someone else deleted stuff? So I'll show you this right here. What we're talking about is this restore button here on the ribbon. Now, if you click on the drop down here, you'll see that we have this option that says show deleted items. And what we need to do is just make sure that that is checked. So I'm going to open up a folder here. Oh, it's opening on my other screen over here. Sorry about that. Let's grab that and bring it over here. Okay, so if we go into a folder in Faster Suite, like Aaron Aronson here, I'm going to go into just this flat fee matter. If we go to Documents and drop down this Restore button here and click Show Deleted Items, you'll see that after I do that, it does have a check mark next to it. Now, if I refresh this folder here, maybe I don't have anything deleted in this folder. Let's go to a different one. One of our webinar folders, maybe. Okay, so when we have that checked, we'll see that documents and folders will show up like this with just deleted in front of them. So that's how you'll actually find what has been deleted out of Faster Suite. So for example, if I were to delete like this discovery folder, we do have to do a quick refresh from Clio here. Oops, I did a full refresh. But then once it refreshes there, it'll show up here as deleted, and we can just drag this up to that button once it shows here to actually restore it into Clio. So it'll give you this message down here, restore success. And then if we refresh again, that folder is just back like it was. So that's how we use the restore button. So we just have to make sure that it's set to show deleted items. So anytime you're not trying to restore anything, we would just turn this off. That way it doesn't clutter up our cloud drive here with a bunch of stuff that's been deleted. Let's see, we have some other questions here. What is DB Browser and how can I use it? Should I install the 32 or 64-bit version? I have a 64-bit computer. Tony, I'll let you field that one.
Sure, absolutely. So this is a kind of advanced capability that is part of Faster Suite. And it's not for everybody, but if you're kind of technical or you're fairly technical, then it can be a very useful tool for getting advanced data out of Clio. So let me show you the first thing that you're going to need to do. Inside of Faster Suite, click on Faster Suite, then go to Settings, Advanced, and then you're going to click on Diagnostics. And the important thing that you want out of here is where your cache file is. So that's going to be your data caching. It's going to be this path right here. So Andrew, go ahead and copy that down. Very good. Now, when we go to this folder, if you have DB Browser installed, you'll see a view that looks something like this. You should always install DB Browser for whatever platform your system is. So if you're on a 32-bit machine, install 32-bit. If you're on 64-bit, install 64-bit. Pretty much everybody's running 64-bit these days, but they do have the 32-bit for the people with the the 1992 PCs. All right, now once we're here, Andrew, go ahead and open up a cache file. These cache files are going to open up with DB Browser. And this shows all of the data that Faster Suite is basically syncing or has synced from Clio. Now again, this is an advanced capability, so if this is kind of out of your ballpark, then this is not for you. But once you're here, you can then go to the Execute SQL tab, and we can say things like select star from matters. And let's go ahead and press F5 or click the execute button. And we get a table here that shows us all kinds of data about the matters. We have pretty much any piece of data is available in Clio is available this way. Now, there was another question later on in here that was related to whether this is read-write or only read. This is a one-way sync from Clio. So when it's pulling data down, this is a great tool to use for querying data, for reporting on data. You can do a lot of stuff with it. But if you make any updates to this database, you're going to start having some weird things happen because you're kind of purposely breaking the link for this data between Clio and your computer. It comes from Clio down to your computer inside of this file, not the other way around.
Alrighty, so that was a brief explanation of DB Browser, which the button that Wendy was talking about is here under Help, and it's this DB Browser button here. So that'll take you to their page to install that. There was another question here. Will contact field mapping in Clio ever be the same as Outlook? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. If you could elaborate, that'd be great. I'll go ahead and skip over that question for now and come back to it, unless, Tony, do you know, or I guess, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I'd like to get a few details on it.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, and if you could elaborate on that question, we'll come back to it. The next question here, it looks like, is for Josh, or I'm sorry, well, could possibly be for Josh or for Tony. Have you guys started integrating with Odyssey and Peach Court in Georgia? So I'm guessing those are, let's see here, those are two programs that most courts are moving towards in Georgia. And then a second part of that question, are you planning on adding any additional medical records?
Okay, excellent question. So the first thing is we've taken a very cursory look at Odyssey and Peach Court. In all honesty, it's not on the roadmap right now. It's just that I only have so many hours in the day, and there are bigger fish that I'm working to fry right now. That is something that I would like to approach, but it is a little bit further down on the list.
All right, and then let's see here. So we answered the SQL question. So could you provide a peek at the 2020 roadmap for future features? Tony, I think this would go to you again.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So in terms of roadmap, I really couldn't put together a 2020 roadmap for you because I don't think about things in terms of like what I'm going to do for the next year. I try to take a very immediate, what's right in front of my face view on things. Some of the things that I'm working on right now are Pacer integration, a pretty big update actually in terms of how faster time shows the data being that's being collected. Actually, Andrew, could I have you open up faster time on your screen? Yeah, so this is kind of a preview of what the new view for faster time is going to look like. Made it a lot easier to kind of sort through lots of data and kind of pick and choose what it is you want to bill. And you'll see we can filter it by specific days or specific ranges, things that have time assigned to them, don't have time assigned to them. Excuse me, I said time matters. And then even when it comes to figuring out what you want to bill, using the toggling between the sort by matter then date and then sort by date then matter options down at the, yeah, there you go, Andrew. They can make it really a lot easier to kind of figure out, who you're doing work for in cases when Faster Suite doesn't necessarily know who it was you did the work for. Now, any type of features or any ideas that you have, definitely get those in front of Andrew. Email hello@fasterlaw.com and say, it would be absolutely great if you had this feature or this capability. Just today, I was talking with a customer who had an idea for the Pacer integration. You know what? That's jumping to the top of the list. Andrew also sent me over a recommendation or an idea from someone else to make an interface a little bit easier to use. Again, those types of things, I'll always evaluate it in light of kind of the ideas that I have marinating in the back of my mind. But if you have ideas, I want to hear them because then I can decide whether it's maybe a definitely now, a definitely later, or maybe a maybe later.
All right, so the next question here, it says, I would like to see how the record tracker is supposed to assist or what its purpose is, whether keeping up with medical records, requests, filing and pleadings, etc. So the feature that we're talking about here is under new, and it's the request tracker over here. And Tony, I actually haven't taken a look at the new interface for this. We just got an update for this today. So if this is vastly different, I might not be the best person to field this question. But the request tracker is designed to just basically keep track of any requests that you would send out to third parties for things like medical records. It's just a way of kind of collaboratively keeping track of them. So for example, if we are requesting medical records for Aaron Aronson here for this case, we can actually just check this box and hit next, and we can take a look at any requests that anyone at our firm has sent out and documented here. So you'll see there's one here that we sent to Claire Wallace for medical records from the doctor. We've requested it. Next step right here is just wait for the documents, and this is the date that we requested it. If someone else receives those documents, they can come in here, select this entry, hit edit, and change any information on here. So maybe, the status is received. The next steps is review documents or something like that. You can then go over here to dates and say we received it today, choose a contact here, hit save, and that'll update it, and everyone at your firm will have access to the status of this request here. You can also add new requests with this new button up here, delete requests, etc. So that is just kind of like a brief overview of what this is designed to do. It's just basically to give you a place to keep track of this stuff. Tony, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, the tweaks that went in, I just recently made a few minor enhancements to this to make it easier for some firms. If you would, go ahead and edit a record there. And you'll notice that when you're editing a date, go ahead and edit one of the dates there, Andrew. The date type, sorry. This is a text field that you can type things into, but so you can put whatever value you want. You can invent your own type of dates for things. But we also just recently made it also a selectable dropdown. So we have kind of some pre-built dates that people might often pick from. So I added some of those in there. I also did something similar. If you take a look at records and providers, a quick list of kind of common records. Again, you can also always type what you want, or you can quickly pick one from the list. If there's a quick pick that is not on there, send it in and just say something like, hey, it'd be nice if such and such was a drop-down option for the record type. And I'll definitely get that added there so you don't have to keep typing that. Same with providers. So that's those are some of the kind of tweaks that we made to Request Tracker.
All right, and it looks like we got some clarification on the question from earlier. So the original question was, will contact field mapping in Clio ever be the same as Outlook? And it says, Outlook has a ton of contact fields that do not match the available contact fields in Clio, like the notes field, the department field. Tony, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, so that's actually a better question for the folks at Clio. I definitely know what it is you're referring to, and I definitely wish that there was a little bit more flexibility and consistency between how contact names map in between the two systems. It'd be great if everything that Clio had a corresponding name in Clio, and vice versa. But yeah, that's I can't speak to that. That's more of a Clio question.
All right, let's see here. Where are we at? Could you speak a little about your Pacer integration? And Tony, I know you said you were making some enhancements here, so I'll let you take that one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So Faster Mail has a component in it where it will monitor your inbox for emails that look like Pacer emails, emails that say, hey, a document has been filed in case number 1234 or something like that. When it gets those emails, it will attempt to read the emails and then go out to the court website, download the documents, attach the documents to the email, and then even perhaps save the documents into Clio. It might not be able to do all the saving if you don't have your matter set up exactly right in Clio, but that's kind of what it tries to do. The idea that was just kind of surfaced by a customer today, they said, you know what, some of these emails say things like, you know what, let me pull up my notes here from this. They say things like, a hearing is scheduled for 3/10/2020 at 11 a.m. in courtroom 212. It'd be really sweet if Pacer Saver could actually read that part of the email, understand that that is an appointment, and add that as a calendar item in Clio, and also add that as a task in Clio. So things like that. That was an idea, moved pretty close to the top of my list, that was given to me by a customer today. I think it's a great idea.
All right. So I will just remind everyone, we do have Joshua Tanzola here as well. If you guys have any questions about our partnership program, state bars, things like that, he would be a great person to ask about that stuff. Most of the questions so far have been about functionality in Faster Suite, which is great. We're happy to answer those questions. But if you guys do have any questions for Josh, he is here as well. He's been just kind of silent up to this point. But to just move through these questions here, let's see here. The new time tracker was one of my questions. So looks like we kind of covered that one a little bit already. We have some suggestions for categories for the request tracker. I went ahead and took those down on a notepad here, so I will send those over to Tony to see if we can get them added.
I'll definitely get those added. Those are great suggestions.
Perfect. All right. Yep. So we'll keep track of those and get them added. And then another question here, Faster Suite creating duplicate email attachments in Clio, or I'm sorry, in the Clio Cloud Drive. What criteria does it use to determine if a duplicate email attachment should not be created? Tony, I'll let you field that one. You should know exactly, or hopefully know exactly what it's using.
Absolutely. So it uses a combination of really 3 different pieces of information. The first thing that it's going to do is it's going to look to make sure, it's going to look in the folder and it's going to say, do we have any other documents inside of the destination folder that have the same name? So if you have a motion for private process.pdf and you're attempting to save a motion for private process.pdf into the exact same email attachment folder, it's going to check that. If it finds any, then what it's going to do is it's going to, if it finds any that have exactly the same name, then what it's going to do is it's going to look at basically a fingerprint of the document. Documents have the ability to generate what's called a SHA-1. For those of you who are technical, that's basically a digital fingerprint from the documents. It will then compare the SHA-1s, and if the documents have exactly the same fingerprint, then it will say, this document has already been saved, or this file has already been saved. If the fingerprints are not identical, then it will save another copy of the document.
And Tony, just to expand on that, what would be, I guess, some situations where that fingerprint could be changed? Like if the same document gets saved twice, are there any things that could cause it to change that fingerprint and get duplicated?
Yes. So here, this is kind of an easy example, but let's say that I send you a copy of a document. You open up the document and you maybe make one slight change to it. Maybe you press the space bar on it and you don't even realize you've changed the document in any significant way, because for all intents and purposes, it's the same document. Like, it looks the same. If you print it out, it's going to look identical, but your copy of the document has an extra space in it. Any changes to the document will result in the document having a brand new fingerprint. Now, as long as no changes to the document are made, then they'll have exactly the same fingerprint regardless of who opens it. But if there's any change whatsoever, they'll have different fingerprints.
All right, perfect. Let's see here. The next question is, looks like for Josh. Josh, you answered this one in chat, but I'll let you go ahead and answer with your microphone here as well, just so we get it recording.
Real quick, I'd like to go back to Wendy's question. Wendy said, I thought it might have something to do with what I chose to name attachments and what fields I chose to include in the name. Yes, it does. Now, because that will control what the file name is. So if one attorney in your firm has saved the exact same document with one name, and then you choose to save it to the cloud drive again with a different name, that's going to cause it to be saved twice, because it's saving it with different names. So even though the fingerprints are the same, the name is different. To avoid that, what you should do is ensure that everyone in the firm is using the same naming conventions. You can do that through your Faster Suite settings. You can even push it out as a firm-wide policy so that you can enforce that everybody in the firm has the same convention.
All right. So Josh, we'll get back to you on this one. The question is, if one of our bar associations is a partner, what does it get us in terms of benefits or functionality? So I'll let you answer that one, and maybe you could talk about, I guess, sort of how that process works.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So when we become a partner, often what we're doing is becoming a member benefit. And so that entitles you to a 10% lifetime discount as free dedicated training and support, of course. And then on top of that, we're often getting involved in engaging with the bars, meaning we are sponsoring conferences and coming to the events, trying to speak and provide educational information wherever possible, supporting and sponsoring CLEs and meetups, and essentially just getting partnered with the bar to provide that support and value to members. But the direct benefit is the 10% lifetime savings.
All right. And as far as, I guess, like how they would get that discount, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And so each bar has a member benefits section on their website. Each of the bars that I've mentioned, DC, Georgia, Arizona, King County, San Diego County, and the like, all have information about their various member benefits on their member benefits page. You'll see Faster Law listed there as a member benefit with the code, the promotion code to enter for those savings. I'm happy to follow up offline as well, Stuart, if you need the information for that. But it should be listed on your bar's website under the member benefits division.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I'll add to that is if your bar is not one that we're working with, that's not by design. It's just we haven't got to them yet. We would certainly encourage you to send an email to whoever your bar representatives are and say, you guys got to be working with Faster Law. We love their software. Whatever you want to say, just say good things about us because we'd love to work with them.
Please, and also too, feel free to involve me in those conversations. We are working with a handful of state bars and county bars, as well as some legal societies now, but we are in conversations with many others. So if you are reaching out on behalf of, certainly want to support any of your efforts and join you in that conversation, as we may already be an agreement with that bar.
And it looks like Stuart's wondering if we were partnered. I think that's what it is. Wondering if we're partnered with State Bar of Michigan, American Immigration Lawyers Association, National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. Josh, are you working with any of them?
I am currently in conversations with State Bar of Michigan, currently American Immigration Lawyers Association, National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, not currently. Right now, focusing essentially on the state and county bar relationships, and then legal administrators, and some other programs, but certainly welcome any suggestions. Certainly appreciate that. But like I said, we are in this conversation with Michigan currently.
Okay. Well, I'll take a note of these suggestions here and send them over to you after the webinar here.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
All right, and we're currently at the end of our list of questions, so we can allow some time here to possibly have some more questions come up. In the meantime, Tony or Josh, is there anything that you guys would like to speak to while we're waiting for questions?
Yeah, if you're interested in trying out the Faster Time update, just this morning I published a preview build. It's not going to automatically update for anybody yet, but if you just go to fasterlaw.com and download and reinstall from the website, it will have the enhancements, the Faster Time in it. I've put a lot of work into this, but by no means do I consider it final or beyond negotiation. So I'd love for you to try it out, use it, and then come back to me and say, hey Tony, I love it, but this is a miss, or hey Tony, I love it, but can you do this? I really want your feedback, because when we push this out to everybody, I want it to be 1,000% better for everybody.
Yep, and that goes for any features in Faster Suite as well. If you guys are using them and you think they could be better, definitely let us know.
I tell people all the time, I'm not a very creative guy. I'm just really good at listening. So when you have ideas, I can't listen if you don't say them. So please send them over.
We had another question pop up. It says, Tony, I haven't had time to really work with snippets, but have you had feedback from anyone else?
Yes, people love snippets. Snippets is like, people absolutely love it. It's probably our it's definitely one of our top features. People are using it for all kinds of different things. Actually, on the topic of snippets, for people who are maybe a little bit more tech savvy, I just recently in this update added the ability for you to link snippets with Zapier. So when you're editing a snippet, you can actually have it push information into Zapier, kick off workflows. Those workflows can be doing things like, creating data in Clio, pushing data into MailChimp, any number of things. It's really up to you what you want to do. And it's the bottom item there, run a Zap/webhook.
Yep, and just for a little bit, I guess, of extra on this one, even before getting to this point here, when Faster Snippets first was released, like in our beta, it looked almost nothing like this. And we got a lot of feedback during that beta testing period that really led to it looking like this. So we did get a lot of feedback on this, and that's why it turned into this little block system here, which is way easier to work with than what it was previously. So we did get a lot of feedback on this, and we're always looking for feedback on anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I pretty much rebuilt the editing interface for Faster Snippets based off of the feedback that we got. So that's one of the reasons why when it comes to road mapping, I like to keep a very open roadmap and not lock things down, because I don't want a arbitrary schedule that I decided in January to decide that a great idea or some great feedback from a customer is not going to be accepted because it would change the schedule.
All right, so we had another question here. It says, on a dual screen monitor setup, is there a way to force FasterLaw to the other screen? So there is. Basically, the ribbon here is always going to show up on your primary monitor. So what that means is if we change our primary monitor, which you can do just by right-clicking on your desktop, I think it's under display settings here, you can choose one of your other monitors to be your primary monitor here. So you just click make this my main display after selecting the monitor that you want. It shouldn't really affect a whole lot. It just changes which monitor your PC actually has designated as the primary monitor. So right now I have it on this screen, which is the one that you can see, and the ribbon is up there. So if we go down here and we see we have this make my main display. If I wanted to put it on my middle monitor, I would just select that one, check the box there, and we would see the ribbon move to another screen that you can't see right now. So that would be the way to move the ribbon to a different monitor if you want to. Let's see here.
One of Clio's current focus points is on mobile. Any future ability to run FasterLaw or iOS on Android? We've had a number, I shouldn't say a number, we've had a handful of people who have kind of asked questions like that, but what I haven't got a really great answer from the people, at least that I've talked to, is what they actually want to do with Faster Suite on their iOS and Android. So it's kind of like they say, yeah, we'd like to run FasterLaw on our iPhone. I say, well, what do you want to do on your iPhone? I say, well, I don't know, just run FasterLaw. So I would be very interested in hearing what specific features you would really love to have. That will help me get a better idea of where I can maybe do that, or the need that I'd be solving.
Yep, and I'll pop in here. Camellia had another question here, but as far as the on mobile question, preserve emails on the go, that is one that I've gotten a lot, Tony. So we've looked, I think, at a couple of different ways of possibly doing that, but I will kind of reiterate here. I think a lot of people are looking for that functionality of being able to preserve emails from their phones. Currently, the way we handle that is to have Outlook running on your computer, and in our settings, we can receive prompts on our computer to preserve emails that are sent from our phone. And that's how we handle it currently. But it does sound like a lot of people are wanting to be able to actually preserve the email to Clio directly from their mobile device. So that could be one possible thing to take a look at in the future.
Yeah, thank you. That's good feedback.
Let's see here. Getting back to the other question from Camellia, she had asked, where did I go to change the primary monitor? It's here. If you just right-click on your desktop, you can click on Display Settings, and this is what will bring up that window where you change that. So we just click on Display Settings, and it'll let you pick which one is your main display. Let's see here. And yeah, we had a couple of people agreeing that yes, being able to preserve emails would be great on mobile. Let's see here. Another suggestion from Stuart is to create a virtual drive for files for iOS with FasterLaw, so you can use Word or a PDF application. Now, I'm not 100% certain on this one. Tony, do you know, can you do that with Clio's app?
I think you can do that with the Clio app.
And then another suggestion was voice logs on the go. So I'm going to just take a quick note here of these suggestions. So preserve virtual drive. I'll take a look at this and see if we can do this in the Clio app, but that would definitely be a good place to check. I know that you can get your documents through the Clio drive. I'm not sure like how they open or any of that stuff, but I will take a look. I also don't have an iOS device to test that on, so I'll be testing it on Android. But another suggestion was voice logs on the go. So I'm guessing that's probably similar to our meeting transcriber that records phone calls and things like that. So that was another suggestion there. Let's see here. It looks like Microsoft has a voice feature. It sounds like so. It looks like it doesn't function well, but we'll definitely take a look at it and see kind of what they do and if there's anything we can do. Yeah, if you guys have any other suggestions for mobile, go ahead and send them over, and we'll just kind of put together a list of things that people are wanting and take a look into whether or not we can do those things on mobile. And again, the email address for that would be hello@fasterlaw.com, or you can always send them to help@fasterlaw.com as well. Those will get to us either way. And it looks like we have reached the end of our list of questions again. So if anyone has any further questions, go ahead and type them in there, or just turn on your microphone and you can ask us. But otherwise, again, Tony, Josh, anything that you guys would like to speak to while we're waiting?
No, I'll just reiterate for folks that again did not see their bar, either their state bar, local bar, or associations that they're a part of on that list. Please, again, if you want to be receive those benefits, please reach out to your local bar and express interest in having FasterLaw as a member benefit.
Josh, do you have any sort of like drafted email or anything like that they could send?
Yeah, absolutely. I have some templates as well. There's a handful of folks who have reached out expressing interest to have FasterLaw be a member benefit, as well as support some local events and meetups and so forth. And I have a few templates to make it easy for you to send that request to your local bar. And in fact, have all the point of contact information too to make it easy for you.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in reaching out to your local bars there, let us know. If you don't know what to tell them, we can provide a template and some contact information there. And hopefully we can continue to onboard more and more bar associations to get those benefits out to those of you that don't currently have them. Let's see here. I have a question here. Can you review the internal file right quick? When you create that in Clio, that shows up in the cloud drive. Okay, yeah, so the internal file, what Camelia is referring to here is basically we suggest for anything that's not matter related to create a contact in Clio called internal. So if I go into open here, you'll see that we have an internal folder here. It's in parentheses, so it shows up at the top of the list. And inside here, we've created matters for, well, I guess we haven't created a ton of them, but things like my work files are inside this matter right here. These are things that I store in Clio's cloud, so I can access them on any computer. But they are just basically files for me while I'm working. So this is one thing that the internal folder is used for, is anything that's not specific to a case that you're working. It could be payroll documents. It could be any sort of template that you want to use that you don't use with Clio's templates. You can create personal folders like this. And also one thing I will mention is Clio's permissions will sync down to FasterDrive as well. So this Andrews Files folder right here in Clio is set to only have me access it through Clio. And because of that, if anyone else at FasterLaw were to open this internal folder, they wouldn't even see this folder. So we've seen people use this for like their own personal storage for like photos and things like that. Clio gives you unlimited storage. So some people have been using it in that way. Now, the internal folder also has a couple of other uses for FasterSuite specifically. If we go out of here into the closed folder, we'll see that we have some closed matters under internal as well. In this case, we only see firm-wide settings here. But this is basically a location where FasterSuite is going to save things that it needs in order for certain things to function. So we've got like group settings and user settings saved in here, some stuff for faster snippets saved in here. You could see some other folders under internal where FasterSuite is just saving stuff, but for the most part, you can just ignore it. They're just kind of, functional files for FasterSuite itself. Generally, what people use the internal folder for is the non-matter related stuff here under open. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just reading through the questions here. So we did have a couple of questions kind of right along with that. Like, can you make the folders accessible to certain people? And again, yep, you would be able to do that just with the permissions in Clio. If you're not familiar with how to do that, I'll pull up Clio here and just show you here really quick. Oops. Sorry, I am not the best typist.
You need me to type your password in for you, Andrew?
Yeah, go ahead and try it. I don't think I changed it or anything.
No, I was joking. I actually can't do it across the screen.
Yeah, let me typing a little bit more slowly here. Oh, wow, I did just type it wrong a couple times. Okay, yeah, so let's say we wanted to go to that Andrew's files matter and just make this set so only I can see it in FasterDrive. When we edit the matter, it's this permissions up here. So this is going to sync down to FasterDrive. So since it's only set to me, I will be the only one that can see this Andrew's files folder. Now, if I were to change this to everyone, then everyone would be able to see that folder. And if you wanted to get specific with like groups of people, then we would actually do that by creating groups in Clio. So you'll see we've created some custom groups. You could do things like this, everyone except Andrew, or our payroll team, or you could have attorneys or paralegals. Any groups like this, you can actually create right through Clio, just through settings, and then you'd be able to select that group for your permissions, and then only those people would have access to that folder in FasterDrive. No one else would even be able to see that it's there. Do you have to have an admin account to set the privacy restrictions? I don't believe you do. When you create the matter, you just edit it and select a group. I think you do need admin rights, though, to create the groups here in Clio. So if there's not already a group, you might have to reach out to an admin to get something created. Perfect. All right. We've reached the end of our questions here again. I will just kind of point out a couple things on the ribbon while we're waiting to see if any other questions come up here. We've got a couple of things under FasterSuite here. You can add users, share FasterSuite with a friend. Add users will just basically take you to our purchase page, which one question that we get a lot is, how do I add people to my license? You can click on add users right here, and it will just bring you to the purchase page. And what you'll do is just select the number of users that you want to add to your license. And when you make that purchase, what'll happen is if you have an existing license already, you will get that many users added to the license, and then your expiration date for your firm will get averaged. So everyone will still have the same expiration date. You'll still get all of the time that you're paying for. It's just kind of the easiest way to add users would be right through that add users button right there. The next one here is share FasterSuite with a friend. This is a good way to basically get a free trial period for someone that you know that might benefit from FasterSuite. So basically, you just fill out this form. We will contact them and give them a demo or anything like that. So if you know anyone that would benefit from FasterSuite that's using Clio, definitely go ahead and send this referral form in. Josh, do you have anything to add on the referral form?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the greatest compliment we can receive is a referral from an existing customer. That said, we do appreciate the referrals and the time it takes you to enter those. We do offer some nice little perks and benefits in doing so. Understand that's not the primary reason, but we do like to reward for referrals. So certainly appreciate the referral and the compliment.
All right. A couple other things on the ribbon here. We covered the Faster Suite button. I don't know if you guys know this, but we actually have a Facebook page. I don't think a lot of people really go here and discuss things like they do in the Clio Co-Counsel group, but we do have a Facebook page here if you guys ever want to check that out. In fact, we are actually live streaming this webinar right now on Facebook. So if you're ever just like in a hurry, you don't have time to register for a webinar or something like that, you can always pop over to our Facebook page and check out the webinar there. Under help, we have a lot of good resources here. We've got a lot of training videos. Our full support site is really helpful, and that's that second button, search support. This has a link to our full video library as well as our webinar archive. So if you guys miss a webinar and you want to go back and watch it, we post them here in our webinar archive, which again, you can access through this search support button on the ribbon under help. You can check out known issues. You can send us a question, make a suggestion. A lot of good resources here for connecting with us. But training videos is a hugely useful resource here. We've got a short training video for just about every feature in Faster Suite. So if you're ever not sure how to do something, you know, like let's say you click on new and you're like, oh, meeting transcriber, how does that work? Definitely check the training videos. If you don't want to try to connect with someone here, training videos are going to do a pretty good job. You can just come here and find the, I think it's under creating things with Faster Suite. You can just find the video related to that feature, and it'll give you just a short, brief overview of the feature. And then if you have any further questions, you can always connect with us, or feel free to connect with us before watching the training videos if you'd like, if that's just easier for you. But training videos are super helpful if you guys are interested in that. I haven't seen any other questions come up so far, so we might allow just another minute or two for any other questions to come in. Josh, Tony, anything that you guys want to cover while we're doing this last little waiting period here for questions?
No, not at all. I'm really appreciative of everybody who's taken the time to come in, and especially for the feature requests. I'm definitely going to get some of these made, actually.
Absolutely. I'll just add a comment that I made to Camelia privately, and I'll share with the group with regard to recording phone calls and so forth on the go. You know, until that functionality is developed, what I'd recommend in the interim, and they're really strong at it, is Gong, G-O-N-G. You can tie it into Zapier and so forth, and tie it into Clio, so all of those conversations are recorded. The nice thing is that you can record that meeting, that conversation, that call, and it'll actually provide you the insights of tonality, what was said, not said, how it was said, and all of those details, and give you the insights as well as transcribe the conversation for you. So Gong is a great alternative for mobile.
Perfect. That's really great, useful information. So thanks for sharing that. We haven't had any other questions come up, so I think we will just go ahead and wrap up here. A couple other things that I like to just touch on at the end of each webinar. We do offer a free trial of Faster Suite. It is fully featured and it lasts for 7 days. So again, you can send a referral through the Faster Suite button up here if you want to share it with a friend, or if you're not currently using it, you can just go to fasterlaw.com/download and then install a trial. We do have that webinar archive that I had mentioned. Again, easiest way to get there is through help, search support, and that'll bring you to our help page. You can view the webinar archive there. Today's webinar will be posted there. Should be by the end of the day, but definitely by tomorrow. If you like Faster Suite, like these webinars, tell your friends. Again, as Josh said, the best compliment we can get is you know, a referral from an existing customer. So definitely share Faster Suite with your friends. If you think these webinars are useful, spread the word. We'd love to have more people attending. And if you need to get in contact with us, help@fasterlaw.com is going to be the best way to do that. You can send any questions, ideas, anything that you need help with, you can send over to help@fasterlaw.com. So we'll take a look at what's coming up. Right now, we don't have a whole lot scheduled. Next week, we'll be taking a look at some common tech mistakes that law firms make, just kind of general stuff, not necessarily tied to Faster Suite, but it should be a good one. We work with a lot of firms, and we do see a lot of things that work and a lot of things that don't work. So definitely check back next week to find out if your firm is making some of these mistakes and find out if there are better things that might work for you. As of right now, that's all we have scheduled. So everything after that is to be determined. If you guys have suggestions for webinar topics, definitely send them over. We've been doing them weekly up to this point. We might dial that back a little bit as we've kind of I guess, run low on ideas. I don't want to say run low on ideas, but we've covered a lot of functionality of Faster Suite over the past couple months. So we might dial it back to like every other week, or just, as we have a good topic to cover, we'll do one, that sort of thing. But as of right now, we just have the one scheduled. So definitely check back next week for that one and send us ideas if you have them. But really, that is it. If you guys come up with any questions for this Ask Me Anything, go ahead and send them over to help@fasterlaw.com, and we'll get them posted on the webinar archive with answers there. But otherwise, thank you everyone for attending. Today's episode was episode 12, Ask Faster Law Anything. So we definitely appreciate you guys coming out and sharing your questions with us, and we've got a lot of good ideas to move on here. But we will let you guys get back to your day, and you all have a good rest of the week.
Hey, wanted to let you know, police records will be in the next update for request tracker. Just added it.
Perfect.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Yep, thanks, everyone. Bye.